Hello there, I am back, Fernanda Paiva, Hitchhiking Stars, bringing you some insights about the lunations so you can best navigate and use this energy to build the life that you want to live, because I'm coming from a constructive approach. So let's talk about the full moon. So there is a full moon coming on the 10th of July, and this full moon will be happening at 18 degrees Capricorn. So 18 degrees Capricorn full moon. So obviously the sun is at 18 degrees Cancer. We've got this exact opposition between the sun and the moon. Now, well, as usual, I want to talk to you about the Sabian symbol for the 18th degree of Capricorn. And this time I also would like to add, and perhaps this is something I'm going to be doing from now on, which is adding the minor arcana card that's connected to that specific decan of the sign. So we'll talk a little bit about the cards that's associated with 18 degrees Capricorn, or the second decan of Capricorn. And how can we weave all of this together, and what kind of insights can we get in terms of preparing and making the most for this culmination? Because full moons are talking about harvesting, culmination, clarifying something, right? We really become very aware of something, strong feelings, strong emotions within situations, etc. So let's look at the Sabian symbols, the tarot card, as well as the general configuration of the full moon. So as usual, I have the chart right in front of me so I can look at it as I'm speaking and get some important information for you. So the Sabian symbol, let's start with the Sabian symbol, and it's all because I love imageries, and I think imageries have so much power. And working with the tarot cards in tandem with astrology also lends that imagery power. And we can feed from, one symbolic system to another and gain new levels of understanding here. So the Sabian symbol for 18 degrees Capricorn is, so here we go, a 5-year-old carrying a bag filled with groceries. So there's a 5-year-old child, so a 5-year-old carrying a bag filled with groceries. Now, that is an imagery that really does resonate with the full moon in Capricorn. So a full moon in Capricorn, or a moon in Capricorn in general, in traditional astrology, is considered to be in a weaker position. I don't work with astrology in quite the same way, because I still believe that we need to find creative ways of working with these placements. So some astrological placements might be a little bit more challenging, but it is about finding a creative way to channel that energy, rather than just look at that as a sentence of unfulfillment. So the full moon Capricorn, because the moon in astrology is associated with self-care and nourishment, relaxing, domestic life, obviously is a little bit at odds with Capricorn, because Capricorn is about the worldly life and achievements. It is about being useful, being practical, going after certain goals and ambitions. So people in general that have a moon in Capricorn in their birth charts might find it a little bit difficult to relax, to do nothing, to enjoy domestic bliss, the blissful domestic life, let's put it that way. So there's something there about working, being useful, being going after something, being structured as well, that the moon in Capricorn is kind of pointing out. And is interesting because this Sabin symbol imagery is a powerful image here, right? We have a 5-year-old carrying it's not just some groceries, it's kind of a big, because it's filled with groceries. So perhaps there's something about premature responsibilities. So premature responsibilities, we have a child carrying the groceries. They shouldn't be carrying the groceries necessarily. But we also have a sense of burdens. So we might get clarity around burdens, around things that we've been carrying for a long time and that perhaps we shouldn't be carrying at this stage. Another potential here with this imagery is taking up the challenge, is becoming clearer about the work that we need to do, becoming clearer about the steps that we need to take towards a goal that we have. So this full moon could be wonderful for the professional driven people that want to achieve something, that are on the path, right, to achieve something, to create something, to structure something. But even if not professionally, I think this full moon could prove very useful when it comes to structures in general. And a structure is a keyword for Saturn. And Saturn is the planet ruler of Capricorn. So we have a connection to Saturn here with this full moon. So a very strong sense of responsibility, a strong sense of challenge here as well. Perhaps with this full moon, we're realizing some of the things that we need to leave it in the background for now. So we might not be able to be having a wonderful time, a good time, relaxing, etc. But it is about doing the work. And something that I really associate with Capricorn as well is work ethics. And I think this is something that we need to be clear about during this full moon. Work ethics and how we want to show up. How do we want to take up the challenge and be in the world and offer whatever it is that we offer to the world? How do we want to participate in life in terms of contribution, in terms of achieving certain goals and ambitions? I don't want to say ambitions just, but like aspirations, right? We're aspiring to do something, to be in a certain way. So those themes are going to be very much here under the spotlight, and we are bound to get some important insights around this journey for each one of us. And each one of us will be at a different stage of this journey, right? But there is something about challenges, responsibilities, burdens, realizing something about them, realizing what's the best way to deal with them, to take up those challenges, or even to let go of some of them and redirect our energy. Because this is what Saturn is about as well. It is about the most important thing. It is about using our time wisely. We're not going to try to do everything. We're going to focus, right? So this full moon might be shining the light on what we need to focus. And the tarot card for this particular degree of Capricorn, and this particular decan of Capricorn, is the Three of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles is also associated with Mars in Capricorn. And it is about a way of doing it, a way of being part of a team. But what I love about this imagery, in particular, the Three of Pentacles from the Rider-Waite, which is the card I have in my hands here, is very practical, is down to earth, and working in collaboration, but is also divine work. The imagery is inside the church, right? There is a connection to spirituality. We're building something that we actually believe in, that we have a connection with our higher selves as well. It's not just an ego-driven ambition. It's not just an ego-driven work. It has a connection to the divine realms. And this full moon points at that too. Because when I look at the chart for the full moon, we have a mystical rectangle. So a mystical rectangle is a major configuration when there are like planets and points in the sky forming a rectangle in the sky. And this full moon is forming this rectangle with the lunar nodes. So we've got the moon at 18 degrees Capricorn in trine to the south node in Virgo, obviously opposite to the sun at 18 degrees Cancer, and then sextile to the north node in Pisces. So there is a rectangle here between the lunar nodes, the sun, and the moon. So this could be a powerful revelation here in terms of the spiritual work that we need to do, in terms of the spiritual growth and what our role is and what we need to take responsibility for. Because Capricorn is about taking responsibility, is about taking up the challenge, is about carrying that big bag of groceries, even though all we want to do is run outside and play, right? Because there's a child holding that in the Sabian symbol. So there's something about work, Three of Pentacles, divine work, work ethics, taking responsibility, being, showing up, having a structure, all of that we might get some sense of revelation here during this full moon. So it's an important one. It really is. It might not be the easiest one in terms of relaxing and having fun, but it could really give us some very, very important clues, insights around the divine work we need to be doing on Earth, right? In a very practical and structured way. Not just as an ideal, as an aspiration, as an imagination kind of, doing something in the other dimensions, but bringing into this dimension, the earthly dimension. And we could really, really tap into some very powerful insights about who we are as an authority as well, and what kind of authority do we want to be. Right? So that's it. I hope this is helpful. I hope you make the most of this important full moon and season. And I will be talking to you all soon. So take care. Bye-bye.